Perfect. So, good morning, everybody. Exciting night if you all stayed up and watched the election, whether you were, one side or the other. So hopefully you got some sleep last night and we'll see the fallout here over the next couple weeks. But um, Aaron, anything from a mortgage standpoint, based on yesterday or predictions going forward here? What do you think?
Um, yeah, I mean, the good news about last night is that it's over. So now we can kind of,
Yes.
like you said, regardless of the outcome, which, we have our voice, but we're not in massive control of that,
Yep.
that we can start to kind of actually game plan for the future and see what happens. There's some level of stability now. What comes, obviously, change of some kind, but, we're gonna have to take it a day at a time. And the one thing I want to, there's a cool link that I like to use. It's just called Y charts. I don't know if I shared this with you guys a couple weeks ago or not. Um, but
You want
I'll
me
put
to
it in the
give
chat.
you sharing? You want me to
I
make your,
believe you guys, I'm sharing is not turned on. Yeah.
okay, let
How
me
do
let me make you a co-hosty here.
I can throw it in the chat otherwise.
Here,
But
if you want to pull it up, you should be able to now.
okay, cool. Yeah, she's thinking. There we go. So this is something that if you don't have access to a rate sheet, or a lender quick, this is something that I like to share with people. And what's cool about this is that you can actually pinpoint what's happening in the market. Now, these aren't interest rates, obviously, as it pertains to the 30-year fix, but you can see right here, the low in the past couple months was right here on September 16th, 3.63. And that's right as the Fed made their announcement, right?
This is the
So
10-year treasury. So,
sorry, yes, that is correct.
yep.
That is correct. And this is what a big chunk of what our interest rates are based on. It's a good way just to kind of track what's happening. So because, even our company or anybody that's actually advertising interest rates, guys, there's always going to be points involved. So you got to look at the APR. I still see people advertising interest rates in the fives because there's 2.5 points of a bite. Like
Mhm.
that's not something that we're going to want to do in this market, but that's a discussion for a later day. But anyways, you can see right here, although interest rates bottomed out here at that 6.3, every single day after that, over the past month and a half, they've gone up, right? Now, there was a little dip here or there, and they're starting to kind of retract a little bit. But this right here was 5.99 for a first-time home buyer with no additional real cost or credits. So it's what we call par.
Mhm.
And this morning, right here, we are at 6.99.
Hmm.
So it's almost a full point difference between September 16th and November 6th morning. So just keep that in mind. This is a good way to stay on top of things because I don't know about you guys, but my pre-approvals are always pushing the envelope on what they're pre-approved for. If you tell them 300, you'll get a text, Sunday night. They need, first and best. And can we do 315? So that's usually the questions I get. But this is just a good way if you're having trouble getting in front of your loan office or anything like that, just to stay on top of your pre-approvals. Because if somebody was pre-approved at 300 back in September, they're not going to be pre-approved for 300 today.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Stay in front of your loan officers. That's all I was going to really kind of give you an update on here today.
That's a great point, you guys. We kind of get lazy once we've got that pre-approval letter in our file. And we don't think about it from the real estate standpoint on this side. We're worried about getting the house, right, and finding the right property. But we also have to stay on top of the fact that when those numbers are changing, so does that pre-approval. So that's great advice, Aaron. Thank you. So tap
Yeah.
back into your lender, make sure all your buyers are still good to go in the range that they're looking at, based on the current rates. So,
And with that said, let me just do one last follow up. So that's interest rates. We can't control that. As a team, your loan officer and your real estate agent should know your client well enough to where they feel comfortable divulging information to you. So, for example, when you're out looking at houses for 2 or 3 months at a time, all of a sudden, and during normal conversations, maybe it comes up that there was a job title change or that there was some sort of additional or deduction in assets or income. For example, it just happened to one of my loan officers where they had the pre-approval at the end of August and they're going to put an offer in a house and we go to do the VOE and this guy no longer gets overtime. Well, if it's not on these last two pay stubs, just for some reason we can't get that. So, and it affected his pre-approval a little bit. So just, keep that open, and anytime anything comes up with income or assets, definitely, notify your loan officer.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. And then before we get to our guest speaker, I just want to tap into Bob real quick. Bob, you were at EXPCon, so was Joe last week. If you got 5 minutes and you can give me kind of maybe your top two takeaways from the convention, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, was over there last week in Miami. And yeah, I would say that the main topic that at least that I saw, Joe, you might agree with us, a lot of discussion around AI. A lot of discussion around AI. So it was, basically there's going to be a tale of two agents here in the future. Those that use AI and those that don't, and the ones that use AI are going to be the ones that are going to be getting the majority of the business. So we need to figure out how to incorporate this into our business. It's such, as Bruce knows, he's very involved in it as well. There's a lot of different facets to it, from lead responses to helping you put together your marketing materials to a variety of different things. I mean, it's overwhelming. You got to kind of just take it in chunks and figure out how you're going to implement it in your business. So I would say AI was a really key thing to take a look at, or was a real big focus. The other thing was is there was a lot of focus on um, attraction for team leaders. So there was we're in a place now with our industry where teams are a big deal.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of agent attraction type pieces they had talked about, maintaining and retaining your current agents, how to be a good leader, a lot of breakout sessions in that regard, and those were all absolutely packed. It's amazing to me that they don't figure out how to make these rooms a little bit bigger for these sessions that they know they're going to have a lot of people in, because there was a lot of sessions that were standing room only.
Yeah.
And then they also talked about there was a couple really cool tools down there, like Real Grader. I don't know if you guys have heard of Real Grader at all.
Yeah, I have that.
A
Mhm.
pretty cool tool to help you generate more reviews, to help you with your social media calendars and posting and that sort of thing. So, and for us EXP agents, which was really cool, is that we now get Sisu, and we also get Canva for free.
Yep. Canva
So
Pro. Mhm.
Canva is going to be rolling out, I believe, second week in December to all of the agents. So that's great. It's not like it's a super expensive tool. I think we pay about $15 a month for our team Canva subscription, but $15 is $15, so it's over 100 and some dollars a year in savings. And then Sisu, I don't know that it's going to work for our team size, but we might be able to scale back at least a little bit and save some money there, because we're paying about $250 a month for Sisu right now. So that would be a huge saving if we can figure out how to incorporate the EXP version of Sisu with our team piece. We have to do a little bit of more due diligence on that. But those are two really cool tools that they had talked about. And yeah, so that's kind of my overall summary. Came away with a lot of really good ideas, and we're
It's
looking
like
at
drinking
implementing
from a
two or
fire
three.
hose always when you
Yeah,
go there, and you
yeah,
have to kind of just narrow it down to maybe your top two or three things that you're going to try to implement or do for the upcoming year. But great to see that they're really trying to, find ways to add value for agents, which is wonderful. And the AI piece, again, you guys, if you are not engaged in AI right now or using it even on a small scale basis, you need to get on this horse because it's running fast and it changes. I mean, Bruce has been in part of a group, and there's tons of them out there. You guys get involved in a training group, or sign up for some training on how to use AI. There's some very simplistic ways you can use it, all the way to super advanced, right? And Bruce has been in a group for 2 to 3 years now. But you got to get involved with it. Okay, so thanks, Bob. I'm glad you had a good convention.
yeah.
Without
Might I add one more thing, Kelly?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, so if you hit icon status, you now will open up your 7 levels of revenue share as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think EXP is doing that to, essentially compete with some of the other similar copycat brokerages out there. So yeah, if
And
you're,
even for cappers, you might not hit
yeah,
icon level, but even cappers open up 5 levels, which is
yeah,
fantastic, you know?
yep. So that's
So
great. So that
yeah,
was that was really good news as well.
yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, good. Glad the convention was good. Sorry we missed it because of knee surgeries, but we're already signed up for next year, so can't wait.
Yeah.
Without further ado, our special guest today, Joe Seimas from the Bay Area. Now, we met Joe a couple years ago because of a different coaching group that Bruce had started, and Joe, we love you. You are one of our favorite people. You're so involved in so many different things. You are a fantastic agent. But why we wanted Joe to be a part of today is because we are heading into holidays, right? And this is a great campaign that he's done. How many years, Joe, have you done this now?
One,
Okay, so this will be your
just
second.
one.
You
This will
did
be
it
my
last
second
year.
year.
Yeah, this will be your second year.
Yeah.
So it's called the 12 Days of Christmas campaign. Joe is going to beef it up to 18 days of Christmas this year, but it's a way to really reach out and engage your community, those local businesses, and position yourself as someone who is the expert in your community. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Joe, maybe give a little background and then kind of let us know how you got started and about the campaign.
Welcome, Father Christmas.
Father Christmas. Why do you call me that? I don't look that old. Jeez. So, I started, well, my family's been involved in real estate. I've been involved in real estate since about 2012. We're farmers in the Silicon Valley, so you know where all our property went. Um, Now I live in the San Joaquin Valley, but I have other businesses that I travel 3 states, and I sort of says, okay, I want to get out of that and go into real estate. So I've been part-time for 3 years. So I says, believe it or not, there's 100,000 people in my town. I've run the soccer league for 10 years and done all this other stuff, but still people don't know me. So I decided to go, okay, this guy came up. I saw something on him in the 12 Days of Christmas. I says, I think I could do that. So that's how it got me into this. Um, I started, I says, okay, so I took his flyer and I copied it and then I modified it to mine and started passing. I put it up on Facebook, and then there's a couple of groups that have like 6 or 8,000 members. So I had them post it, and we got like 4 people. And then I says, okay, so I started going from business to business, and you figure that some of the restaurants and stuff, but they're the hardest ones to get. So I
Okay.
just took anybody. So one guy says, oh, come with me. I've got another one for you. One of the new business I was trying to get. The girl says, well, he owns this business too. I'll take you over there. And we did 2 of them in one morning.
So you
Yeah.
posted a flyer on Facebook to try to get businesses interested in wanting to get
Right.
internet.
I can post that. Let's see, what do I gotta do here?
I've already given you shared comp. So on the bottom of your screen, you should see a share button.
Yeah.
If you click on that,
Okay.
pick what you're sharing. Do you have your flyer pulled up?
Yep, there it is right there. There's a flyer I made for this year. This is the one.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything yet.
Share, it says share screen.
Yep.
Is it up there
Oh,
now?
there it is. Now, there we go. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. So there's a flyer I made for this year. Nothing fancy. We just changed it around. We left the wording a lot. We put the no cost in there because what I do is I go in, I film, I use Fillmore, a Wondershare to process it, and I use Canva to put the trailer 10 seconds with their name information. There's websites and all that. Then I give them a copy to also.
Okay.
I tell them to drop it off my pick it off my Facebook account. So I only promote it on Facebook. I don't go
Okay.
to YouTube, and I just basically spend this last year I did 12 days at $2 a day. This time I'm going to do 7 days at $2 a day per
Okay.
video. So, and they get like 8,000 shares, 7,000. There's that, I mean, not shares, views.
Hmm.
So it's not that it's nobody sees it because I do
Right.
put money behind it and I stay within the 15 miles. It it works out just fine.
So
And
you
some people
post
say,
this
yeah, we
flyer.
saw it. What's that?
You post this flyer and they can either scan that QR code or they can call you or text you or whatever.
Right.
And they sign up. And so let's say I'm calling you and I'm a business. What do you do? Like what's your next step with me?
So I just say, okay, where are you located? What kind of business? And I put you down. It says, okay, I will contact you, or they'll scan and text me and I'll get their email. And then we'll just, I've got probably 4 on the list today already. I had 2 nonprofits and I didn't have any nonprofits last year,
Hmm.
but I think what I'm going to do is do the businesses for Christmas. And I'm going to do a nonprofit every week throughout next year. Maybe
Nice.
on Wednesdays, I'll put it up, or Fridays. And we'll post those on Facebook.
Nice.
And there's enough to go the whole year. I mean, the realtors in my group, we give away probably 35 different nonprofits alone.
Okay.
So there's enough out there that I could do one every week. I think I'm going to start like in March after I get done with farm shows and stuff, and then continue the rest of the year doing that. So
So
with
then
these
if you
businesses,
so then if I say, yep, come on, let's do it, you set up a time with me to come interview me or tell me what you do
right?
with each
Usually a half hour
business.
before opening, I do them, or sometimes I do them during depends how busy they want to be. Um, right now, and it doesn't take me, I mean, I have a tripod, I have a camera.
Hmm.
Uh, I was happened to be with a guy who does video, Trevor Jones. He said, hey, this is the kind of camera you need. I go, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well just go buy the camera instead of using my phone. So I went and bought the camera. Then I went and bought some lavalier mics for 2 people, which cost like $35. The camera was like 300, but it has enough digital that I could go ahead and it uses a standard USB port, standard plug that you charge your phone with to charge it. So I didn't have to worry about extra cables, even though I've got cables coming out of my ears. But so it was pretty simple. And then I just download it. I pull the card out and download it into my computer, put it into Wondershare, and usually within 10 minutes I can edit it because I don't cut out very much. Um, I leave in there a lot of it. So
Okay.
unless in the beginning, I sometimes cut out some if there's a lag. Like if I have to start the camera and walk over there and we start talking, I'll cut some of that out. At the end, I just add the 10 seconds. Sometimes I cut out the end and I use my tag at the end. I go, this is Joe. I'm Joe Seimas with eXp Realty. We are not just a sign in your yard. And then I cut it off there. Usually
Okay.
takes me 4 seconds to stop the camera. And then I review it with them to make sure the sound's good, and I'm out of there. So
Nice.
I have a tripod, and first complaint was the first ones I did, they were video type people. They go, oh, you need to put the camera on an angle. You need to do this. Well, I didn't have that. So I went the whole season with just straight. Now I've got a thing that I can adjust the camera down on it. So supposedly my videos will look better this year. So
So
I
do
mean,
you have a
and
do you have a list of questions that you go through with them, or do you just kind of wing it and let people talk?
I really didn't put a list of questions. Their biggest thing is, oh, I don't know if I'm going to look good. I go, have you done this before? No. Well, then you're not going to look bad. You can't look bad because you've never done it before. That's what I tell them. And nobody seems to, only had one Chinese lady shy away. Other than that, most of them knew what to do. But you have to watch a couple of things on Facebook when you list them. If you're doing a winery, don't put winery there. Put a backwards 3 as the E. Okay. Like I did a brewery, Morgan Territory. You just put Morgan Territory. The other one was Windmill something was the winery. That's all we put. Because if Facebook sees the winery or brewery or whatever, they won't let that go through. They
Oh,
only look at the title though. So if you change the title, nobody's had a problem with the content after that
hmm.
that I found. Because they don't have time to look at the whole video. They just want to see, oh, this title, we're going to ban that one.
Hmm.
So I didn't have any problems with the titles.
Okay, interesting. So this is
So do
a,
you,
Yeah.
oh, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I was gonna say, Joe, do you find when you're talking to these business people and you've got them on camera, that they once after just like a couple of minutes, they just like to talk about themselves and their business, and they kind of take over when you say that you don't have
So,
canned questions for them?
yes and no. I mean, some of them they they've done this before. I like the Morgan Territory guy. He just went into it. Um, I did a bakery and we did hers twice. She goes, Joe, I want to change some. And I know her. So I says, yeah, no problem. So we redid hers. Uh, the other ones, I mean, I did the fencing guy outside. I didn't bring any lighting. I had lighting if I needed it. But we were able to do every one of them with just a natural light. I was worried about that. I wasn't going to have enough lighting because I know another guy. He said, "Well, I have lighting. I have extension cords. I have all that stuff. I probably need to have an extension cord because I did run into that problem with one of them where my what was it? He had lighting, but he didn't have enough extension cord.
Yeah.
You know, okay, because everything I do is battery, so I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think if you are going to kick off this type of a campaign and depending on how extensive you get, there's another gentleman we know that does this and he goes like into the business, interviews them inside, does a lot of B-roll of inside their businesses. And sometimes that's dark, right? I mean, it's not ideal for video. So if you're going to go to that level, yeah, you've got to have some different equipment. But if you're
Yeah,
going to just try this and say, you know what, this is a great idea. I'm going to wing it this year. I'm just going to try it. You could be as simple as, because we're kind of behind the game, and that's gonna be my next question to you, Joe. So think about you're prepping for this, right? And how soon you have to get started. So if your plan is 12 days of Christmas and I'm gonna roll this out starting December 1st, right? Or the first week in December, you guys got to be thinking about this in October or worst case November, right? And getting those businesses lined up, getting the time in to do the video before December so that you can roll these out. So when you're thinking about that, you could do something as simple, if this is going to be your first year, as I don't have time because it's already late in the game to contact business owners and interview business owners, but I could pick 12 of my favorite businesses that I support and I love locally and
right.
just do a quick video of, hey, I'm stopping in and grabbing a cup of coffee at ABC Coffee Company, or hey, I'm having lunch at my favorite pizza place. It's such and such. They're located at blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could do something quick like that, or you could take it to the level like Joe does, where he's setting up a time to go in and interview the business owner or the manager on call or whatever that day to have them talk about the business, right?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid, you guys, that you're like behind the gun here. It's already the first week of November and oh my gosh, I don't have time to do this, because you could do it on a short, quick level, or you could do it on an in-depth level like Joe does, where he's interviewing, the
Okay,
owners.
so when I started this, I says, okay, I'm going to film in November and start rolling out in December. That didn't work out. I started filming late November, and we were still filming 2 days before I was posting them. I want to get my Christmas tree up. I want to do this, and she kept delaying. She was the last one I did. I did 14. I didn't turn down anybody. I mean, I did. There was one that had some kind of moss or something I did a musician and a DJ. Someone was a photographer. I even did a nail salon, and she did it in Spanish and English.
Hmm.
Her Spanish ones got more hits than her English ones did.
See, Mercedes,
Excuse
I
me.
hope you're listening to this. Mercedes is here in our area and she's
Okay,
got
so
big ties to
and
that community.
most of the other ones, they said, "Hey, go see this guy." That's how I got half of them. Half of them I knew, and I says, "Look, some of them inquired to me, and we just filled them in those spots. Like I've got four right now." So, but what I do is I printed 150 flyers already, and I just go and see businesses. Well, we got a new chicken place opening up that's basically a regional chain in
Mhm.
the Bay Area. It's California. And I'm going to probably do him next week. Their grand opening is Friday.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then I'm going to do Crumbles. That guy owns like six. I think he owns six franchises. He's hard to get a hold of, period. So, and then I went to his next door neighbor and I picked him up. And I'm going to go see a bunch all downtown again. I just stop in the retails. I stop in late in the day, which is wrong. You need to stop like at 9 or 10 in the morning when the managers are there.
Hmm.
That's the one mistake I was making. And I'm
Yes,
going to correct
I
that
think
this year.
planning is a big part of this campaign, right? So if you think you want to do it and do it at a higher level like Joe's doing it, where he's actually interviewing owners, you got to put a little bit of thought into this and probably start in October thinking about the businesses that you want to reach out to so that you can set those interviews up in November and have time to do the quick edits or whatever you're going to do to release them, starting in December. But I'll tell you in our area, and you probably have this too, Joe, in your area. So, or in everybody's area, there's so many businesses that do great business year round, but really have some stuff going on during the holiday seasons, right? Like we have a restaurant here that typically will do like every year, come on in and buy $100 worth of gift cards, and we'll give you an extra $25 worth of gift cards, right? So you're getting $125 for 100. Like those are fun things that you can highlight, right? Or some people will just do different things through the holidays. And what a great way for them to showcase what they're doing, showcase their business. And again, you're the good guy because you're the one that's promoting them, right? And so they're going to remember you too, hopefully, when there's some reciprocity that could be
So
given back.
we asked them if they want to, if do you have any specials going you want to tell us about?
Good.
And I think two or three of them, I think the brewery did. I mean, we could play a couple of these videos. I have
Yeah,
them.
I'd love for you to show us a
Yeah,
couple.
let's see if I don't mess this up too bad. Um, Thought I had it open already. Here's the one I did with the brewery.
So we still see the flyer, and I'm not sure if you
Oh,
have
you
to.
do? Okay, I think I
Yep.
got it shared, right?
Yep, I think you have to hit share button again and then
Tommy
pick
with
a
Mike
different screen.
from Morgan.
Joe, you're gonna have to close out of this first share because you shared a specific file. And then you're gonna have to go in and just do your general share where your video is.
So hit stop share.
Yeah.
Stop share. Okay.
Yep. And then hit share again. And then you'll
And
have to pick whatever screen shows up with your video.
Got it?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. Should start automatically, right? No. Honestly, let me start it all over again.
yeah, we still see the play button, Joe.
Your screen has stopped.
Video streaming on Zoom is a little suspect too.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a little choppy. Hopefully it
What do you
works.
see now?
We see
We
all your
see,
videos.
Okay, that makes it easier. I can just pick them right off of here. Morgan territory. Sharing still?
Well, it's sharing, but I can see like just all your different videos, like the screen. Oh,
Mortgage territory.
Does it go in with the video or no?
we don't we don't see the video yet. No.
There's a difference between sharing your screen and sharing a window.
Yeah. Let's see. Stop share. Let's try this one. How about now?
yep.
Yeah,
Now
we
you just
see the
gotta hit
video, so
play.
just have to hit play.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. Morgan Territory in Tracy, California. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his operation. So yeah, we opened up in to the public anyways in May of 2016. So we're now over 6 years now, 7 years, something like that. Time flies. It seems like just yesterday, but yeah, we've got a production facility here where we're doing about 5,000 barrels of beer a year, and we've got an on-site tasting room that's got 22 beers on draft at any point in time. Everything from stouts and porters to IPAs to Belgian beers to sours and so even some seltzers for those people who are not into beer. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody, and we'll hope that at some point everybody will come by and check us out. Got 22 on tap most of the time. You got any holiday specials at all? Yeah, I mean, we've always got a case special. So if you pick up six 4-packs, you get 25% off that purchase. So that's something a lot of our customers take advantage of, especially around the holidays when they're shopping for having people over at the house and that sort of stuff. It's always nice to have a nice wide assortment of beers and stuff. So we've also got merchandise, hats, sweatshirts, T-shirts. And various other items for sale as well. They make great gifts for your beer fans and your family. So yeah. Okay, got a nice facility. Can fit a few people. If you got to bring your buddies down and have a few brews during the holidays, come on down. Come on down. Yeah, we've got food trucks oftentimes on the weekends, especially in the better weather. We've got a nice large patio out there as well for the summer with its own serving station. We've converted a shipping container into an outside bar, complete with all 22 beers on draft. So it's quite the experience. So hopefully you guys have an opportunity to come by here and check it out. Okay. I'm Joe Seimas with eXp Realty. We are not just a sign in your yard.
Can I add the tag at the end?
Awesome.
Joe, I three things I notice about the video, which I believe are, in my opinion, are awesome. One, it's very short. So, for everybody on here that hasn't done any of these, you don't have to make a 2 to 3 minute video, which is uncomfortable to try to fill the time. It's just short to the point. You get your point across, and it's awesome. The second thing is that you've got captions on there, because if some of the video is kind of hard to hear, you could read along, right?
Not that
It's
it
great.
was.
Yeah. And the third thing I really like is how casual it is, right? It's not a massive production. It's not something that's over the top. It's not something you have to work at, right? It could just be super casual. So, I mean, I think you hit on all cylinders on this one, and that's how easy it can be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was worried about the captions, but Wondershare automatically put them in. I clicked the button, but then they're using AI already last year because it would change my entry. They'd change my name. This is Joe Seimas, and they would say things about me. I go, I didn't even say that. I'd have to go back and change it. It was learning from the way the videos were being done. And I go, how does it know this? And there was a couple of them I left, and it was crack up.
Hey, well,
That's
AI is good and it's not good.
And I hate to see this year because they've updated it again. I haven't done a video, but yes, the closed caption was I just hit one button and it put it in the whole video
Nice.
because I didn't have to go to RevShare or any place else to get the captions done like you do on Facebook. You know,
Right.
they used to do it, now they don't, but with this program, it automatically put it in for me. You know, and
And
I think I
so,
paid $49 a year for it.
okay, I was just going to ask you that. And that's Wondershare, you said?
Yeah, it's called Wondershare Flomia, or what do they call it? It's in my thing here. Wondershare Filmora 13 is the one I'm using.
Okay. And
It,
there's
it
a lot of different programs, you guys, for, you could do Video, you could do um who do we Dub. There's lots of different programs out there, you guys, that you can use to quick edit. I mean, like Joe said, he's not doing professional productions here, so he doesn't need to do 1,000 different edits. If you're just going in and he's like, I just let it roll unless there's just something crazy I got to cut out. It shouldn't take you a ton of time to edit these quick little snippets. So that's the other good part about it too.
yeah.
And
So
and
I
it
did
doesn't have
one.
to be.
The longest one I did was the girls that did it in English and Spanish, but I did one with Juice Power that she was can you see hers or no?
Mm-mm.
See, I gotta share.
And you're also not looking to be professional here. I mean, I think that goes along with the casualness of the video, right?
You know?
Yeah, we can see her. Yep.
Yep, you just have to hit play now.
Oh, that's her. Wait a minute, that's her. Uh, I gotta redo. That one's her. That's not the video. It's her
Oh, it
video.
looks like a thumbnail.
Yeah, it's a thumbnail for it. Let's see, she was number. No, she had hers. Well, here's the raw footage. I think this is the raw footage right here. Yeah, this is the raw footage, and we didn't really cut much out of this one. You can't see it here, right?
No,
Right, cannot.
but I do love the fact that you can see yourself filming in the mirror behind her.
Yeah.
Well, I think while Joe's looking for this, the bottom line is, you guys, so many of us
There we
are
go.
frozen by I mean, we're paralyzed by the fact that we don't know how to do video. We're not
Yeah.
professional videographers. And if we can just get out of our own way and, just do this. Here you go. I'm going to set my camera up, whether it's my phone or a separate camera on a tripod. I'm going to sit down with the owner. I'm just going to say, hey, this is so and so from, whatever company. Tell us a little bit about your company. That's it, right? You don't have to be a professional. The whole point is you're giving them exposure for free, which in this day and age is hard, right? To get anything for free. So go ahead, Joe, play this.
Does it share now?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can see it.
you just got to hit the play button. Yep.
Yeah, I know, but play button's cleared by the. There we go.
I think that's my dog. But anyways, I know a lot of people are kind of wondering what is CMOS, Joe, which is understandable. You've either never heard of it before, or maybe have heard of it but don't know too much about it. So basically, it's CMOS from the ocean. It's algae, but it's super dense in vitamins and minerals. So it's kind of like nature's superfood, multivitamin, basically. And so I get it from St. Lucia. Super clean, marine protected waters. So there's no commercial activity, contamination, and I get it in dried form. So what I do is soak it in fresh water with lime for a few days to rehydrate it. And the lime helps to neutralize a lot of the sea moss flavor and smell. So by the time I blend it with alkaline water, it becomes a gel. And not too sea mossy. If you blend it in a juice, your preferred beverage, whether it's a coffee or a tea, most times you can't even tell that it's there. So you're getting all of your nutrients, vitamins, 92 minerals and vitamins to be exact, out of the 102 that are in your body that you need to survive.
So how many ounces do you take at a time, say in a coffee?
So you want to take 2 tablespoons a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 tablespoons a day for adults, 1 to 2 for children. Like I said, you can mix it or you can drink it straight up. We do a different variety of flavors. I have strawberry here. This is bladderwrack. Bladderwrack is actually really, really good for you. It sounds intimidating, and it kind of is. But with the bladderwrack, you're getting the full 102 vitamin and minerals out of the 102 that your body needs. So you're getting the full thing. So the benefits are going to be greater. However, the only downside is that I get the bladderwrack in powder form, and I mix it in with my Seimas gel, and so there's no way for me to extract a lot of that Seimas-y flavor and smell from the bladderwrack because it's in powder form. So it will be a little bit more Seimas-y in flavor and smell than your regular Seimas gel. But the good news is that you can disguise it in like a smoothie or a shake. Or you can take it straight up and drink a chaser afterwards. That's what I do, just to get
a couple questions. I take it you have inventory all the time, or do you have to special order sometimes from you?
Yeah, so you order, everything's made to order. Shelf life is about 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So you order it, I make it fresh to maximize your shelf life and maintain, ultimate freshness. We do different flavors. I usually have everything I need in stock. If not, then I'll let you know. But yeah, you just place the order, I make it, and I do free local deliveries in the Tracy Mountain House area. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a taste test. We got a taste tester here.
Yeah. Come on
over, Don.
So we're going to, like I said, I also do juices.
I'll give it to you too.
Thank you. So I do juices as well. I do juice cleanses, 1 to 3 day juice cleanses. And the thing about my juice cleanses is I incorporate the Seimas gel in it as well. It's not just juices. So you're going to be flooded with all of the good stuff. So this is our green thumb juice, but we won't taste test that right now. We're going to try the orange turmeric Seimas shot that I make as well. So I make bonus shots. I do a pineapple ginger, and then also an orange turmeric, which is what this is, and it's got a little bit of Seimas in it too. So really good for you, great for skin health, boosting your immunity, reducing inflammation, and then you're getting the 92 minerals and vitamins from the Seimas. So yeah, if you're ready, I'm ready when you are. All right, let's give it a shot, like literally. Take it up a little bit. Cheers. All right, cheers.
Oh,
what do you think? Yeah, it tastes like the Seimas, right?
No, that's
just
very
orange juice.
tasty,
Yeah. So that's the thing about my Seimas is I puree it really, really fine. So if you mix it in a drink, it'll fully dissolve. And also, like I said, I neutralize a lot of the Seimas oceany flavor and smell. So when you add it to something, you won't even be able to tell that it's there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great for kids too, picky eaters. You could sneak it in their juices. They won't know, but they're still getting all of their vitamins and minerals. So you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You got anything else to tell us?
I
I think we've covered about everything.
think that's it.
Okay.
So yeah, I have an Instagram. You can visit my page there. I have a lot of
I'll tag it at the end with your information.
perfect. Yeah,
for
so
you.
it's just juicypower_MH for Mountain House. I have a lot of helpful information on there, ways to order, and you can just send me a DM with your orders. And like I said, I do free local delivery. And if you have any questions about anything, you can reach me on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Joe Seimas with eXp Realty, and we are not just assigning your yard. Good.
Yay.
Do you
Thank
have
you
any
for trying it.
or anything? Oh, no.
No, oh, that's what I should have mentioned too, is
Okay.
So I like this because it's longer, but
She was
you
a
just
lot-
let her go, right? So it really doesn't matter how long the videos are. This one compared to your first one was a little more prompted with the guy at the bar. This one, it looked like, her passion kind of took over and she just did her thing. So I think for us that haven't done it, I think knowing that you could go either way and sometimes just let it go. And if you don't want a 2-minute video, you just snip some out. But I think this is perfect.
I didn't stop them. I always let them go. And if I did, I cut something out at the end if there was too much. We're in the middle if they repeated something. I think I only had one that we really, when I did the bakery, we still had to cut something out of the second one. Well, she wanted to start and restart, and then we redid it, and I still had to cut a small piece out. But this one was the raw footage, and my wife happened to go with me. And she goes, "Well, do you guys want to sample?" I go, "Yeah, my wife will sample." So I made her do the sampling.
Well, I think the nice thing with this too is this is a product that most people aren't familiar with, right? So like the guy sitting, with you at the bar, it's a brewery. We kind of get it. Not that we know what all of his brews taste like, right? But you're more familiar with breweries. Whereas not everybody's going to be familiar with this type of business or this product. So her going a little bit longer and more into detail, I think, is very beneficial, because you're kind of like, okay, well, what is this, right? And how does it work? And I think her explanation was very good. So,
So I basically did 4 home businesses. I did this one. There's a girl who makes macarons from her house.
okay.
That lady's a busy lady. I mean, I don't know how, between kids, and she has special need kids, and I go, how many do you make? And she told me how many dozen she does,
Hmm.
especially during the holidays. I go, well, where do you, there isn't enough hours in a day just about, but she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the prawns, you have to make them perfect to fill them in one shot. I go, well, do you have a problem? She goes, no, I have very little waste. So she's done it for quite a while. Uh, the photographer was home based, and the DJ, he started as home based. So I basically did 4 home based ones, and those came to me from other people that says, "Hey, my friend did it. It says you want to do juicy power." I go, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
She gave me the address, and she's not on Facebook. She's only on Instagram. So I
Well,
put her on the Facebook and the Instagram, and I forget how we got her. I think I told her, "Here's a copy of it," and she somehow put it on her Instagram.
perfect. Well,
So
that's a really great point, you guys. Some of us get so caught up in the brick and mortar, businesses that we go visit and we patronize, but there's a ton of home-based businesses in our own areas that, if you're worried about like, oh, how am I going to find 12 businesses to go highlight? There you go. That opens up a whole nother segment of opportunity for you, that people are running small businesses, from home. So keep that in mind as well. So,
probably have to have. I probably called on at least 100
hmm,
to get, and basically 1, 2, uh, 3. I think 5 of them uh, came from the calls I made. 3 were from the postings on Facebook, and the other ones were just say, "Hey, I know this person; they'd be interested that way."
yep,
So
yep. I think you guys just have to keep in mind that, again, it might take a little bit of planning. Your first year of doing this, if you decide this is something you want to put in action plan for the year, um, it might be a slow start, right? But if you're consistent with this, it's going to gain momentum, right? Your first year, it might be really hard to get those 12 businesses or those 12 people to interview. Next year, it might be a little bit easier. The following year, it's going to be easier, right? The more that this gains momentum, these businesses are going to see the exposure that you're giving to other businesses. And I will guarantee you it'll get easier and easier, as you go along, right? People will be recommending businesses for you to interview.
here's the one
So,
thing to think about that I thought about doing, but I just don't have enough hours in a day. Um, you could also do this for Valentine's Day. Pick
mhm.
2 or 3 or 4 businesses. You can do it for 4th of July. You can do it for Easter. You
You don't
know,
even need a holiday, you guys. I mean, you could say, if I don't want to do 12 days of Christmas, I could do 12 months of the year, right? Every month, do one if you don't want to do 12 days, right? You're highlighting a business every
call
month,
it the 12 days of Christmas, but you don't have to do 12 businesses.
right?
You start doing for the 12 days of Christmas. I said I'm going to do 12. I did 14. I say I'm going to do 18 this year. I don't know. I may not make the 18, but who's going to look? They're going to see
Right.
the video. And believe me, some of the videos still come up. I mean, I did one before the 12 days of Christmas. I went to uh, one of our congressmen, John DeWarty. His parents have DeWarty's poinsettias. In fact, they're opening this weekend. I'm probably going to go down there and video. And I put that video up. people are still looking at that video at least 2, 3 times a month. Then and I only put it on Facebook. I didn't put it on YouTube. This time I'm going to put it on YouTube, and I don't run any money against that. I just put it out on Facebook, and you'd be surprised how many people I get comments still about that. I just got one last week about it.
Yeah.
From last year. These
Is
guys
that
are steady. I mean, they supply a couple of stores, but mostly they do it retail and for fundraising. And I mean, Doherty Nursery, they employ about 500 people. They raise almond, grapes, and all those kind of trees also. But this is their parents. They do just the poinsettias,
Mm-hmm.
and they have probably what's that place? There's probably 30 or 40,000 square feet of poinsettias when you go in their greenhouse to buy. I've never seen an operation that big for retail in poinsettias.
Well, I think that's the good thing about this too, that this point we haven't talked about is the perpetuity of these videos, right? Like, so Joe's putting it on Facebook, which we know that's kind of a quick turnaround, right? But if you also have a Facebook, I mean, a YouTube page or somewhere where you're hosting your videos that you do, across the board for your business, those are out there. Those are out
Yeah.
there for good, right? So, you're not only, these businesses aren't only getting the mileage for the one time you post it.
Yeah,
So,
it's the 12 days on my YouTube channel, and all 14 of them are on. The
yeah,
fifth, I got one in Spanish.
love it. Love it. Love it.
In
Well, we've got a few
my
minutes.
not
Oh, go
very-
ahead, Joe. Sorry.
I would do them in Spanish, but my Spanish isn't very good.
Mine either.
So I handled Mexican crews for years. I'm still not good in Spanish. You know.
Does
But
anybody have any questions for Joe in regards to how he puts this together or pulls it off? Okay. I think it's pretty straightforward. But again, there's a ton of great ideas out there. It's just, are you going to do them? Right. So if this is something that you're like, I love this idea. I live in a small town, like Bruce and I live in a pretty small town, about 6,000 people. We're right next door to Rochester, which is much larger, but our little town of Byron, 6,000 people, it's a small town, right? I mean, this is a great way for us to really showcase our local community, if we chose to put this in our action plan. So if this is something that you guys see yourself doing, again, can be very simple, could be you just interviewing you, or videoing you at the place of business and you telling your viewers why you love this local business, maybe what's your favorite thing there, or hey, you stop there every day, or here's where I work out and here's why I love it, right? It could be just you doing a quick video, or you can elevate your game to the point where you're lining up an interview with the owner or with the manager or whoever, to talk about that business, to to let them sell themselves in the community, showcase any discounts they have for the holidays, whatnot, or or things that they do that are unique. But what a great way to position your guys' self as a community leader, supporting buy local, right? Buy local is always so huge, especially this time of year, but year round. So get out there, you guys. This is a super easy way to again showcase community awareness, but position yourself for the longevity of those videos year round, right? This isn't a one and done. Okay. Any questions or comments before we head out for the day?
no,
That's
if
what
you contact me, you saw my number on that flyer, so
Yep.
that's my
Bruce,
cell phone.
Bruce, you can post Joe's contact info in the chat too, or we'll put it on, we've got it on the flyer, which we've already posted on Empire Mastermind. So
Yeah.
it's in the files section of the Empire Mastermind page. We've got Joe's flyer. So Bob, you were going to say something?
I just want to thank Joe for sharing. I think it's a really cool thing what he's doing, and the majority of agents aren't doing that kind of thing just because, like you said earlier, Kelly, they just freeze. They have good ideas, but they never go through with it.
Yep.
And you just need to do it. It's okay if it's not perfect. People like authenticity, and I sensed a lot of authenticity in the stuff that Joe's doing. So good work, Joe. Wish you the best
Yeah.
and keep going after it and keep differentiating yourself.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
remember Joe's comment of you don't have to just do this in Christmas, you guys. Christmas marketing, things get lost. There's so much coming at us over the holidays. So if you're like, I love this concept, I feel like I'm behind the gun, wait till think or Valentine's Day, or just do it. Just do my 12 favorite businesses or whatever you want to do. You don't have to do it over the holidays, and you can pick a time where maybe the mainstream marketing is less. So Joe,
And I will tell you from a view standpoint, unscripted videos like what Joe showed us are going to get way more views from people because just like Bob said, of the authenticity, and the fact that you're not reading something, it doesn't sound canned. You're going to get way more interest and followers just off of that. So I think that's awesome, Joe.
yeah. Joe, thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate you. You guys will have his information on that flyer if you want to reach out with questions. Otherwise, Aaron, thanks again for your market update in the beginning, and have a great week, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.